BBOR, Black Box Online Radio, coming to you from West Virginia. Well, it is October 31st, so I would like to first say just a happy Halloween to everybody, and also congrats to the Washington Nationals on winning the World Series. I was rooting for them against the Astros. Major congratulations to them winning the title this year. Now, since it is Halloween, I thought we would start with our mini upload first today and just kind of send out some major Halloween greetings to everybody. And this is kind of just a personal vlog upload right now. I would say, though, that I don't have many favorites in life. Like, I don't have a favorite food or a favorite movie or a favorite color or anything. Very difficult doing class projects, when you're in elementary school. I've always been like this. But October is my favorite month of the year, hands down, not only because of Halloween, but here in West Virginia, October is absolutely the best month of the year. I mean, we had amazing fall colors this year. It was just great to be outside. And the first 2 weeks of October here are actually like summer. Then it becomes a little bit cooler, and it's absolutely the best 2 weeks of the year. This is also quite a unique year because this is one where we kind of did all of our Halloween celebrations in the previous days, like the costumes and lighting the jack-o'-lanterns and all of those things. So tonight just going to be inside. I might watch Halloween 5. I love that series pretty much. Someone recommended it to me when I was in high school, and the reason why I watch Halloween 5 is that was the first one that I had seen from the series, Michael Myers and all that. And it's also, like, just kind of something you always look back to and definitely think about in October. And I finally saw Halloween 3, though, Season of the Witch, for the first time. And that one was pretty good. But I think I would have liked it a lot better if it had just been in its sort of own standalone movie as opposed to the continuing the Halloween series without Michael Myers. I would like to ask the first challenge question. What is a horror film that you watched that genuinely scared you? Because Halloween didn't scare me at all. Like, not as a kid, not as a teenager, not as an adult. I remember, though, I think it was on Halloween. It was definitely in the month of October, but I might have been spending a Halloween by myself or something back when I was in high school. And I was watching Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho on TV. And that was one that genuinely scared me. That was the first time a horror film actually left that kind of impact on me. And I would just ask that question to you. What is a horror film that genuinely scared you? And I was watching it on TV, and I'm like, I want to change the channel. I don't want to see how it's going to end. Because Alfred Hitchcock was just a brilliant filmmaker. Now, it sounds kind of weird, but another film that, kind of scared me as a horror film, if you would count that, would be The Sixth Sense. Only because as a kid, I had this kind of phobia of death. And the ending of The Sixth Sense kind of bothered me. And I know that's not a really scary film by most standards, but I find, though, when I ask people, what is a horror film that scares you, they often kind of say things you wouldn't expect. Like for me, saying something like The Sixth Sense. One guy told me that he was terrified by the Blair Witch Project. If you haven't seen that one, I highly recommend it. I don't think anyone would enjoy it too much now. It's kind of like Paranormal Activity. It's something that a lot of people would not want to it's been so hyped up that it's just not scary anymore, or that your expectation is too high, so it's kind of a letdown. But I don't really watch too many movies in the early months of the year. It's just kind of a pattern that I sort of put myself into, because it's I really was focusing on other stuff. This summer, I was just all about the true crime things. I was really listening to a lot more podcasts than I am now. I was listening to First Degree, the Serial Killer podcast, which is hosted by a guy named Thomas Viborg Thune, and as well as 48 Hours and Forensic Files now have podcasts. You can take them on the go. I was talking about them a lot on the channel, and I really just wanted to get a lot of true crime because it's one of the most fascinating things out there, and it's the subject of the channel pretty much. Definitely our most recent uploads have been all about true crime. And the month of October has a lot of events that go on. We not only have the Zodiac Killer and his activity in October 11th, the murder of Paul Stein, but we also have things like the murder of Sherry Jo Bates that we just talked about recently on October 30th, and the disappearance of Joan Risch, a different case that happened in 1961. This is the first time I've recognized that all of those things that I've been talking about are all in the 1960s. I don't know if there's those are just three major crime events. We could probably find many other anniversaries. But those are just some of the true crime cases that we followed on this channel a lot. And we're definitely going to keep going with the true crime things. I've had a great time running this channel and connecting with all of you guys in the comments section, hearing what you have to say about the cases, as well as about some of the political things. We've definitely kind of veered away from some of the political stuff on this channel, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There are enough people talking about politics out there, and when it comes to composing stuff about true crime, I think it's kind of a more fascinating process. But one thing I would say about that is, on this channel, maybe some of you have noticed, like the regular listeners, I know we have a few out there, we've kind of veered away and scaled back from just putting out theories. It's not just like, okay, this is a true crime case and here's my theory about what happened. It would always kind of surprise me why there weren't more channels like that. Why aren't more of these true crime YouTubers just putting out their theory on what happened? And like, you really see that the more famous ones that have, like the views in the hundreds of thousands, they're more about, like, they spend 20 minutes giving a factual introduction, and maybe there are 2 or 3 minutes at the end when they're just like, okay, here's my theory on what happened, or here's a popular theory on what happened. Even sometimes you hear that stuff. Now, one of the big reasons why they do that is it is very difficult to be 100% correct all the time. In fact, it's nearly impossible to be 100% correct all the time. And so many times I've put stuff out there saying this is my theory about what happened, and it turns out I'm completely wrong, because I think that we've kind of veered away from just putting out this is my theory about what happened in this true crime event, and definitely more just talking about what are the sort of patterns and trends and similarities that are happening with all of these true crime cases, and especially talking about some of the things associated with psychology, because I do think that it is valuable to hear kind of the sort of responses from people who are not from the traditional academic backgrounds in psychology, in psychiatric medicine, and in anything to do with those sorts of fields. I think there's something valuable to hear things about that. Now, we're probably going to be covering a few more things, though, about the political system. Sadly, I just can't stay away from that stuff because we have an election year coming up in 2020, but I definitely like to just kind of approach more of, it sounds weird, but true crime from sort of a commentary standpoint, like almost just social commentary on true crime. I definitely think that is something more valuable, because I think there's a lot of things that are lacking in those discussions. A lot of people are just like, oh, he killed somebody, and that's it, though. And you see this, though, a lot on the forensic shows, because their message is not to talk about what are the cultural reasons that are pushing people to commit these crimes. On the forensic shows, they want to show you how the investigators figured it out, how the investigators used, forensic science to solve the case, which is their ambition. More power to them. But I definitely think there is there are things in our culture that are imperfect. There are major problems that we have that could really be solved by learning a little bit more about how these things function, like about how society functions and where are we kind of going wrong. And I think that is something that's like, it's a bit of it's a bit more enthralling to me right now. And like, for example, when I did the disappearance of Brandon Lawson, those were some of the most viewed uploads that I had on this channel, even more viewed than the Zodiac Killer. And I was just like, I made so many mistakes with that because the developments were still coming out. I'm trying my best, to be accurate and to say what I think happened. So many of us are on the internet just like, what do you think happened with this case? Or like, what are some of the clues and how can you interpret them? But, I definitely think, though, that there is a certain sense of, there's a little bit more value in discussing about how does culture relate to true crime, as opposed to just what do you think happened on that one specific day? What were these person's footsteps like? What were their actions? What was their thought process? Thought process, I don't want to downplay that one. That is something that we've talked about so much on this channel. Once again, not like mind reading or anything, but just what are the motivations for somebody to do something? And what are the psychological reasons about why people commit these types of crimes? And I think we've contributed some very very excellent things to those discussions. About this time last year, though, in terms of other topics, like I did a cartoon conspiracy on It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, about like one of the secret meanings behind that, and we've done a couple other cartoon conspiracy things like on Pinky and the Brain. I wish those things were more popular. I love talking about that subject, like hidden meanings, and because a conspiracy just means two or more people hiding the truth, usually for a malicious reason. And of course, maybe Webster's dictionary would say something a little bit different about that, but I love doing those things. But I really know that you guys definitely want to hear some other subjects. Those definitely aren't the most popular things out there. But it's maybe we'll do some of that stuff in the future, just because I like talking about it. And we're now doing mini uploads, like the larger upload, and then we'll have just a small kind of mini segment that's going to be a little bit more casual, that can be on pretty much anything. So, Halloween night tonight, I hope everybody's going to be staying safe, and I'm only 31 years old, but now I've reduced my candy limit down to one chocolate bar, one candy bar, something like that. I bought a zero bar from Walmart. You guys like those with the white chocolate and all that? If I have anything more than that, I just feel sick. I mean, like I said, I'm 31, but I feel like an old man sometimes. And we mentioned a little bit how on the internet, like, you can learn more things and you can connect with more people and you feel like you're not so alone and stuff. I thought I was just turning into an old man super fast, but when I see in other people's social media feeds, most people I know in their 30s are experiencing the same stuff, like that they post about on Facebook and Twitter and such. No, I definitely cannot go through a bag of candy anymore like the way I could even do as a teenager or something. Last year we had like this giant bag of candy that were given out to the trick-or-treaters, and we had the leftovers left in the house. It stayed until New Year's, because you just eat like one piece a day or something, and I absolutely love this stuff. I just feel sick if I eat anything more. So I got my little zero bar on Halloween night, going to be watching Halloween 5, most likely, and probably some other stuff. I mean, like I said, normally, I don't know why, but during like the first 8 or 9 months of the year, I don't watch many movies. I just like to watch horror films in October. And I saw the Hatchet series. I recommend that one. It's with Danielle Harris, who's an actress in Halloween 5, actually. That's how I found out about it. She's in Halloween 4 and 5, as well as a little bit in Halloween 6. But, no, she's in the second and third part of the Hatchet series. It's kind of like a Louisiana set horror film. I saw the first 3 of them this year, Hatchet 1, 2, and 3. That one is good. If you like comedy horror. And I also saw Bride of Chucky for the first time this October. Things like that.